The mirror principle is one of the most potent realities laws because of the radical changes it may bring into our lives. There is no one method or plan of action required to bring about this massive shift. This guiding concept concerns the kind of person you aim to develop into. If you want to be a billionaire, for instance, you must first change who you are on the inside in order to achieve that goal. If you don't, you can start blaming yourself for the issue when really it's somewhere else. The first lesson from this principle is that making internal changes is the first step toward making external ones. In essence, this is what the mirror principle is all about. Everything you touch will turn to gold if you can grasp this principle. But doing so means staring at your own personal demons, your mirror, and words you might find distasteful. If you're serious about making a big change in your life, this video is for you. A vital exercise that I use regularly will also be revealed in this video. Today we'll explore this idea and the ways in which it may improve your life. The relationship you have with yourself and the world, as well as your inner and exterior realities, are all reflected in the mirror of reality. Just what do I mean by that? Okay, now let's revisit the scenario where you make $1 million. If you have the mindset that you can't or aren't excellent at producing money, then that's exactly what the mirror of reality will reflect back to you. Let it be. Here's another proof that you're not financially savvy. Therefore, the world will continue to present you with evidence supporting your claim. Keep this in mind, it's really important. The world we see outside is really only a reflection of our own inner reality, generated by the picture. Careful observation reveals that the vast majority of individuals nowadays are preoccupied with matters external to themselves, obsessed with gadgets, social media, and the fast pace of modern life. For many of us, the link to our innate knowledge and our true identity has been severed. Let's have a look at the 4 ingredients that will allow you to mold the world to your liking. One of the most common themes in discussions of the law of attraction is that reality is a mirror, and that our efforts to change it are really just attempts to alter our reflection in it. Knowing that the mirror of reality reflects both your internal state and your external surroundings is the first and most important key of the mirror principle. In other words, your self and world perceptions reflect in the reality you experience. If you look in the mirror and criticize yourself, you will see what you already believe about yourself. Simply put, I don't measure up. I'm not competent enough to pull this off. You won't be good enough, the reflection will tell you. Another reason why you don't measure up has just been presented. What you see in the mirror of reality depends on the signals you send it. Similar to a trustworthy buddy, the mirror of reality will always back up your claims. Instead of striving to change how we seem in the mirror, we should focus on how we appear to others. This is analogous to the process of persuasion. When we tell someone explicitly not to do something, there is a good chance that they will go ahead and do it anyhow. But if we opt to motivate and inspire by providing compelling reasons to avoid certain activities and describing the potential negative consequences, the other person will be more receptive to our advice and suggestions. So we want to have a subtle effect on the environment around us. Reflecting on actual conditions only amplifies your points. It will always mirror the beliefs and values you have about yourself, your place in the world, and the universe at large. This is a really important piece of information, so please keep it in mind. The next question is what can be done to alter this? The question is how to break the cycle and make deliberate decisions. It's up to you to forge your own identity and paradigm in the world. I'll use an illustration to show you how to develop your own unique persona. First, you need to have a firm grasp on your ultimate goals. What's something you can picture yourself doing on a daily basis in the far-off future? What do you possess that makes each day a new adventure? And you could wonder, who am I being right now? Who am I when I have all these accomplishments, possessions, and accomplishments? In a sense, this is the most important. Next, think about how you interpret the world. In this situation, how do you make sense of the world? How does all this alter your perspective on the world? Spend some time giving life to positive affirmations. You should begin by writing positive self-affirmations. I am deserving is one possible interpretation. I have the alchemist's enchantment within me, and as a result I attract wealth to myself. Make some affirmations that reflect your worldview. The odds are always stacked in my favor, for instance. In the end, everything unfolds as it should, just as God planned. Be prepared to see a remarkable shift as you commit to daily repetition and internalization of these affirmations. Your perception of reality, your view of the world, will shift right before your eyes. Though getting what you desire might seem impossible right now, it doesn't imply it won't be possible in the future. Patience, effort, and time are all prerequisites for success. Keep it in mind. But don't allow your insecurities prevent you from accomplishing great things either. Please take a few minutes to complete this drill. It can make a dramatic difference in your life. Let's move on to the second essential point now. You must realize that there is a time lag involved in the formation of the reflection we observe in the tangible world. As to why this? Why, in our internal world, a picture may be formed very instantaneously by shutting our eyes and imagining it. In this universe, things function that way. Things take time to materialize in the third dimension, the physical realm, because of the intrinsic nature of matter. Dense substance cannot defy the rules of physics and make everything appear at once. Which leads us to the next essential. For your wish to come true, you must maintain the faith you have built. A definition, please. It requires sticking to the persona and viewpoint you've developed until the end aim becomes clear. If you want to be something, pretend to be something else until you make it. Consider how that person would behave and try to maintain that persona for as long as possible. When this starts happening to more and more people, we see some fascinating phenomena emerge. Everyone eventually learns that life is full of ups and downs. They settle on a theory, a sense of self, and anticipate the realization of their ambition. However, you won't see the end outcome right away. Then their disposition and confidence start to deteriorate. Now, after your mood has dropped to its lowest point, its embodiment becomes immediately apparent. However, there is a lag before it starts reflecting your bad emotions and thoughts. Once your feelings are reflected in your manifestations, the results tend to degrade. A type of wave develops, a cycle that recurs throughout your life, and you are helpless to stop it. You can't avoid ups and downs. They're a part of life. The most efficient means of bringing about substantial changes in one's life is to stick steadfastly to one's own identity and perspective. Now let's move on to the second essential, which has had a huge influence on my life and which I use on a regular basis. You must realize that your idea's cleansed substance, rather than their raw nature, is reflected in the mirror of reality. In a minute, I'll elaborate. Consider this. If you keep complaining, nothing will change. But there is substance to your resentment, as in, I hate my dead-end job, I hate my boss, I hate my partner, I hate the bills I have to pay, and so on. Your hatred will be reflected in the mirror, but not the emotion behind it. The bills are only one thing I despise. More bills, more I hate my job moments, and more reasons to be miserable at the office are the inevitable results. That is the way it always works out. The more you whine about what you lack and what you don't want, the more you'll get of both, providing you with more evidence in support of your existing beliefs and sense of self. This is the main distinction between a scarcity mindset and a plenty mindset. Changing your perspective from half empty to half full is all it takes. The secret to making this work for you is straightforward. Think about what it is that you need and what you currently possess. To bring about a shift, you must first pay attention to the present. Everything you've worked for, everything your family is, all you've accomplished, and everything you desire in life. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What would make the rest of my life an exciting adventure? Is that acceptable? How do you react to it? A fuzzy mental picture will do, as long as you know what you're shooting for. And when you do that, when you keep your eye on the prize, the distance between your existing life and your ideal life starts to decrease because you start to test the limits of your comfort zone. That's the third and last clue. Let's go to the fourth essential now. The mirror cycle comes in at last. This will have an enormous impact on the future. If you can master this mirror cycle, you can stop second-guessing yourself and always know exactly what to do. Observe as the world around you transforms right before your eyes. It all begins with a keen eye. Therefore, explain your previous lack of foresight. Everything that has been spoken, everything that has gone wrong, everything that has been done inadvertently, this very instant is all there is. The circumstances of your current life, such as having to pay expenses and working a job you despise, may shape your self-perception and the way you feel about yourself. What I mean by image is how we come across to ourselves introspectively. The mirror will always reflect what is put in front of it. Therefore, it acts like a mirror, shaping our world in accordance with the picture we see in it. Most individuals, however, simply return to staring at the mirror and repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Most individuals fall into this trap of addiction. In the end, they can only look on helplessly and think, dang, this keeps happening again and again. I just can't figure out where I'm going wrong. Then they experiment with new approaches. Nothing they undertake in terms of business tactics or new venture creation seems to bear fruit. For a time, it seems to work. It certainly piques their interest. They try to break the cycle, but are ultimately unsuccessful because they lack the wherewithal to alter their own behavior. But there's something crucial I want you to keep in mind. Because no essential shift is taking place in terms of worldview and identity, this is the case. In this case, turning the clock back is the solution. Generally speaking, first they observe, then they imagine, and then they see their own reflection. Puppets often follow this pattern, but if you aspire to be a co-creator and genuine reality creator, you must invert it. I speak from experience. I've dealt with this issue for a considerable portion of my own life. But once I grasped this cycle's significance, everything shifted. Starting with the final product in mind is the first step in breaking the cycle. We refuse to look inside or at the world as it is right now, for the simple reason that we become aware of the fact that the world as we know it today is the result of choices taken in the past. Nothing will alter unless you accept this. To influence the future, I must make decisions in the present. Once we've decided on an image and communicated to the mirror, hey, this is what I want, and this is what I have, the mirror has no choice but to begin reflecting it, albeit gradually. Even minor adjustments will take time to implement. What should we do now? We confirm rather than observe. We take a glance in the mirror to see what's working. And when we see the mirror, we think, oh, that's working. Look, that happened. If you want more confidence over time, you'll notice that people will start to welcome you better. If you wanted to improve some aspect of your work or business, you'll notice that things are getting better. Your whole world may be falling apart, but you only focus on the things you want to confirm, the things that correspond to that worldview and identity you've chosen to create. The idea is that you always keep doing it, and the more you keep doing it, it will turn into something beyond anything you've ever imagined. If you start using these principles, your life will change completely. Guys, this is real. This is something I applied and it really worked, so I'm passing it on to you. At the very beginning of my spiritual journey, I thought it was nonsense. But when I saw the results, it was insane. Things I wanted started to come to me even beyond what I had imagined. As we dive into the depths of the mirror of reality, we discover an inner power that we often overlook. What we see around us is, in fact, an echo of our beliefs, identity, and worldview. But the secret of transformation is, instead of just observing reality, we must shape our destiny with the image of who we want to be and what we want to achieve. As we form this new image, the mirror of reality responds with small changes, slowly transforming itself. The mirror of reality knows no limits. It only responds to what we offer. It just like the alchemist who turns lead into gold. We can transmute our lives by adopting a mindset of abundance, focusing on what we have and what we want. Ultimately, our journey through the mirror of reality is a search for the truth within ourselves and a celebration of our ability to create, to innovate, to transcend. I hope that this knowledge will be the flame that guides you through life's journey, helping you to create the reality of your dreams. I hope this video enriches your life. Please subscribe and like this video if you found it useful. Thanks for watching to the end. Until next time, be happy.